Hi, this is Kristen Heemstra, your personal college and career coach. And this is part 3 of the common data set and part 3 of finding out the dirt about schools. And you are going to learn so much in this video. I'm so excited to share it all with you. Okay, so I have the common data set pulled up for American, for Yale, and for Arizona State University. I wanted to give you kind of a comparison of different things. The reason I have pulled up Americans is because I want to show you what a difference applying early decision can make and how you can find out if that matters or not. So if you look here, you will see the average incoming class for American is, we'll say, roughly 1,700 students, okay? Full-time, first-year freshmen out the gate, okay? Now, if you pull on down here, we've already covered this in the last video, and please feel free to share these videos because I think this is information everybody should completely have. If you come down here and you see early decision, well, American does have early decision. Early decision is binding. I talk about that in the other video. But here's what's so interesting. So American, if you want to get into American University, look at the amount of students they take early decision. So we said they had about 1,700 students for their incoming class. They are taking 750 of those early decision. And if you apply, I mean, they had 900 applicants. They took 750. That is a really, really good shot that you're going to get in if you apply early decision and you meet the criteria. And we talked about how to determine the criteria in the last video. So check out those numbers for different schools, and it will help you make the decision. If you're on the fence about applying early decision, remember it is binding. Your money's going there if that's what you want. It can be a very good strategic move for you. So now let's talk about money, because money matters. And different schools, before we talk about money, let's talk about their student life. This is interesting if you are somebody who is concerned or excited about Greek life. So at American, they have a fairly low percentage. First of all, almost everyone's from out of state. You can see that. DC itself, you're not going to have a lot of local folks there. But for the first year freshmen, 85% are coming from somewhere else. And 9 and 11% are joining fraternities and sororities. Let's compare that to Arizona State. So with Arizona State, we're going to come down here and we are going to look at student life. So they have a lot fewer students from out of state. Undergraduates, all told, they have about 25%. And they have 10% of their men and 16% of their women are in Greek life. So very interesting in that regard. And then a lot of campuses have a lot for students to get involved in. And this tells you how many people, if you're concerned about it being a commuter school, how many people are commuting on and off campus. You know, what's their population look like? What's the average age of a freshman? So you can glean a lot of information from that. Let's stick with Arizona State here and let's do expenses. Now, you'll notice that expenses for their in-state, $10,000. All right. For out of state, it goes up to $27,000. If you were to look at University of Michigan, you would see that this number, people from out of state, is 45%, and the tuition for out of state residents is $50,000. Out of state is a great way for a school to make money. So that's why so many schools take out of state students, because they can charge more. The reason they charge less for in-state students is because the tax dollars go to support the institution. All right, so keep moving here. Let's talk about money. So you kind of have to guess a little bit here. The best way to figure out how much it's going to cost you directly is to do the net calculator. And each school has it. You just have to look for it. And I did a video on that, so I'm not going to go into it. But that will definitely tell you, the net price calculator will tell you how much you can anticipate paying. What we want to look at here is the numbers of average need-based loans. So loans are different. Self-help is like working and things like that. Grants and awards, This is the money that they're giving away. And this is kind of what you can see, all right, I may or may not get some of that money. Non-need-based scholarships and grants, these are people who don't need the money, but they're giving it to them anyway, because who doesn't love money? And what they're doing by giving people money who don't need it is trying to entice stronger students to come to a school. So average dollar amount of institutional non-need-based athletic scholarships, this is going to be your D1 schools. They're going to be giving athletic scholarships away. You're not going to see that in your D3 schools. Non-need-based, these are your other schools. You can see how many they're giving away, what they're giving away, kind of thing. Their athletes are definitely getting the most money, though. And then this is kind of the amount of loans and the average financial aid package, things like that. So definitely check this out, and it will help you really see if the school is going to be a good fit financially for you. The average undergrad borrower cumulative principal, this always makes me nervous when students are borrowing a lot of money to attend a school, because they have to pay all of that back. So this is going to just be an expensive institution to attend. So now we're going to look at Yale, and we'll really see what expensive looks like, right? What Yale has, which schools with a large endowment have. Large endowment means they have a big pool of money that they're pulling scholarships from the interest of it. So the endowment kind of sits there, but the interest that's generated from the endowment, the school then has to play with and give scholarships and pay for things with. So Yale, 92% of the students are out of state. Everybody's living in a freshman dorm when they get there. They have all these campuses or all these things and such. The annual expenses, so just to attend, their tuition is $55,000, and then room and board to live in New Haven, where this is located, is an additional $16,000. So you're looking at a pretty hefty price tag. The comprehensive fee, $72,000. And you're like, oh my God, that's so much money. Well, yes, but you know what Yale does? Yale will meet 100% of demonstrated need, and schools with big endowments can do that. Schools without endowments cannot do that because they don't have the money to do that. So going down this, again, you can kind of parse through the data and see what it produces, but you're not seeing a lot of loan data here because for the most part, Yale is meeting the needs of those students. So that's an important thing to keep in mind as you go through. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it for what you need to know. Do check it out. Go through this with a fine-tooth comb, but definitely do the net price calculator for each school to find out how much money you can plan on getting, how much in loans you may need to turn to take on as you go into it. And then this will give you a good sense of whether it is a good idea for you to attend the school or to find one that is more economically viable.